First on the docket, the pagans did it. That's right. The attorneys for the man accused of killing 2 teenage girls 6 years ago in Delphi, Indiana. Well, the attorneys have filed a lengthy and somewhat interesting, the unusual motion for a hearing that claims the girls were killed by cult members, and the double homicide suspect, Richard Allen, has no ties to this religious group. Now, all this came in a 136-page brief that was filed today by lawyers for Richard Allen. And they also allege that the search warrant executed on his home on October 13th of 2022 was based on faulty probable cause, and therefore everything found should be released. Now, as you may recall, the Abigail Williams and Liberty German were murdered in a killing, and some people now, the attorneys are saying a ritualistic type killing by several people, but not Mr. Allen. Now, Mr. Allen was charged with the October 22 killing of the 2 girls after investigators said there was evidence at the scene that linked him to the young girls' deaths, but Allen's defense attorneys argue that the detectives overlooked other clues and potential suspects in the investigation that were obvious, and they just focused on Richard Allen. Now, of course, they really didn't know he was there for 6 years until they got their administrative clerk issues resolved, and then they said, hey, let's go talk to this guy. And sure enough, he admitted he was there. So Allen's attorneys are saying that the members of a pagan Norse religion called Odinism, hijacked by white nationalists, ritualistically sacrificed Williams and German, and nothing links Mr. Allen to this group. Apparently, sticks were placed at the crime scene to form Germanic letters associated with the religion, and that's apparently one of the clues that indicates that the girls were killed as part of a ritual. Other evidence at the scene, including paintings with the blood of victim Libby German, supports the defense notion that the group of unknown suspects killed the girls. Investigators ignored and omitted evidence of the ritualistic killing and proceeded to request a search of Allen's home, according to the motion, and they request that all of the evidence be suppressed on behalf of Mr. Allen's attorneys. Now, we are definitely going to have to wait and see how this plays out. And the prosecutors today also filed a motion saying that everything should be held in secrecy and that no one should be allowed to see this because it's going to prejudice the case. Now, remember, the Judge Siegel, stated that she was going to start releasing some of the information in this case to be public, and certainly the prosecution is not going to like this. All right, so we'll see if we can get the whole 136-page memorandum for our live show tomorrow night. That would certainly take up a lot of time to talk about, but hey, it would be worth it given the fact that obviously the pagans must have done it. You gotta love good lawyering when it exists. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. In some unexpected news, Suzanne Morphew's remains have been found. That's right, Suzanne Morphew's remains have been found 3.5 years after she vanished after going for a bike ride on Mother's Day. Now, the Colorado mom of 2 was reported missing from her home in Chaffee County back in May of 2020. Investigators revealed that they found her body in Moffat, Saguchi County while probing for a separate case. No arrests have been made since the remains were located, and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation has confirmed that the remains are in fact that of Suzanne Morphew. Quick recap, back in May of 2021, a year after Suzanne disappeared, her husband Barry Morphew was arrested and charged with her murder despite police not having found her body. Well, last year, prosecutors dropped all charges against Morphew after a judge sanctioned the district attorney's office for discovery violations. And after Barry Morphew was charged with the murder and the case against him progressed, authorities revealed quite intimate details about their married life. Police said that the pair had a tumultuous marriage, with the suggestion being that he might have killed her out of jealousy or to stop her from filing for divorce. But last year, District Attorney Linda Stanley dropped all charges without prejudice, which means that they could be refiled again because the statute of limitations has not run. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Barry Morphew has to say about this. I'm sure he's a little surprised, probably just as surprised as the investigators in this case were, since they weren't even looking for Suzanne Morphew's remains and they found them while they're out looking for somebody else's. Now, I would note that every time I fly over this particular area, I look down and think to myself, the prosecutors say they knew where her remains were. They were just waiting for the snow to melt. Well, apparently they didn't know. Well, I'm glad that the remains of Suzanne Morphew has been located for her family, and now we'll see what comes next. Will there be charges? Will there not? Have to wait and see. All right, yesterday we brought you the tech guru story where the 26-year-old under 30 woman was killed. Well, we've got an update for you. So the suspect in killing the 26-year-old tech entrepreneur, Peva LaPere, was arrested late Wednesday night at a train station in Maryland. Now, the Deputy United States Marshal, a guy by the name of Albert Marseca, and the Baltimore City Police announced the arrest about 12:30 a.m. early Thursday morning. Now, LaPere was found deceased, reportedly on the roof of her Baltimore apartment building on Monday. Jason Billingsley, a 32-year-old ex-con released from prison nearly a year ago, was the named suspect. Now, Mr. Billingsley served 14 years for raping and strangling a woman at knife point about a decade ago. Already seems like just a real nice guy, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. He seems like a bad man. Anyway, the arrest came just hours after Baltimore police a $6,000 reward leading to Mr. Billingsley's arrest, and they said that Mr. Billingsley was also wanted in an attempted murder, arson, and sexual assault that took place back on September 19th of 2023. Now, LaPere launched EcoMap Technologies while she was still a student at Johns Hopkins University and was named on the Forbes 30 under 30 list just this year. Well, Jason Billingsley, he's on another list called Parole. Anyway, well, he was apprehended on, like I said, Wednesday night at this train station about 30 miles from where LaPere was found bludgeoned to death on her roof. Now, law enforcement tracked Mr. Billingsley to the train station on Laurel Bowie Road in Bowie, Prince George County at about 11:10 p.m. and was taken into custody without incident. Now, as we've previously alluded to, the detectives are probing the links between Peva's slaying and an unsolved arson attack and sexual assault on a young couple that took place 1 week earlier in the nearby city of Baltimore. Now, the suspect in the earlier incident is believed to have posed as a maintenance man to talk his way inside the couple's townhome on September 19th before tying them both up in a basement bedroom. He then allegedly raped the young woman at knife point, and her partner looked on. Powerless to intervene, then doused the room with gas and fled, according to accounts from both the police source and the neighbors. He faces charges of first-degree murder, assault, and reckless endangerment in killing the young entrepreneur Peva, obviously a rising star in the tech industry. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about Mr. Billingsley in the future because it sounds like he was a bad man. What do I say, ladies and gentlemen? Past performance is indicative of future results. Sometimes people change. We like people to change, but sometimes people just are not going to change.
Suzanne Morphew. Her remains were found last week, confirmed on Wednesday that they were in fact her remains. The big question is now, is the coroner, the medical examiner, are they going to be able to come up with something, find something of evidentiary value that's going to link the person who did this? Obviously, Suzanne Morphew did not fall off her bike and wind up some 50 miles away from the crime scene where her partial remains were found in a shallow grave. So somebody did it. The question is there going to be something of scientific forensic value that's going to help establish who that is? Now, obviously, we know the prosecution has charged Barry Morphew in the past, but those charges were dismissed. And frankly, had the prosecution gone forward, there probably would have been an acquittal and jeopardy would have attached. Now, obviously, we give Barry Morphew the presumption of innocence, but certainly I'm sure the police are looking at him. They're going to look to see if there's any DNA. But given the fact the body's been out there in the air, animals have scavenged it, it's going to be tough to find anything. We're going to have to see what the cause and manner of death was. So the other big thing is the family released a statement last night and says The Mormon family would like to thank all involved in the discovery of our sister Suzanne. Over the last 3 years, countless hours have been spent looking for Suzanne by a determined group who have never given up hope that she would be found. The memories of her gentle spirit and wonderful smile have been a constant presence since her disappearance to all who knew and loved her. We want to thank the Chaffee County Sheriff Joe Speasy, his staff, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and the hundreds of volunteers who never gave up. Fate may have played a key role in finding her, but it does not negate the resolute commitment of all those involved. We would also like to thank the citizens of Chaffee County who have been subjected to the unimaginable saga for their support and prayers. We look forward to finding the long-awaited justice for Suzanne and the successful prosecutions of those involved in her disappearance. Now, as you may recall, yesterday, the attorneys for Barry Morphew issued a statement saying that both Barry and his daughters were quite surprised and saddened to learn that Suzanne Morphew would never be walking back into their life. I'm not sure who really believed that. Let me know if you believed it. Anyway, this is going to be the big story. We're going to be bringing it to you. And since I'll be 8 hours ahead over there in Europe, I'll have it before everybody else, right? Something like that. Oh, and I had my brush with greatness today. Laird Hamilton, the famous surfer guy, big wave guy. Guess who was right next to him in the TSA line? Yeah, this guy. It made my day. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time on Crime Talk.